Good morning, students. Let's begin our social science class. In continuation of NCRT Geography chapter India size and location, this is my second video related to the content India and the world and India's neighbor. India and the world. If we see the areas according to the largest country, India stood on 7th number. The first area wise, the largest country Russia, then second is Canada, third USA, fourth China, fifth Brazil, sixth Australia, and seventh India. Significance of India's location. As we have discussed in previous video, India is situated in middle and Asian countries. So we are going to discuss about the significance or importance of India's position in world. The Indian landmass has a central location between East and West Asia. India is a southward extension of Asian continent. The Trans-Indian Ocean routes which connects the countries of Europe in the west and the countries of East Asia provide a strategic central location to India. So this we are going to study through the world map which is given in book. Note that the Deccan Peninsula protrudes into the Indian Ocean, thus helping India to establish close contact with West Asia, Africa and Europe from western coast and with Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. No other country has a long coastline on Indian Ocean as India has, and indeed it is India's eminent position in the Indian Ocean which justifies the naming of an ocean after it. Question related to the topic. The central location of India at the head of the Indian Ocean is considered of great significance. Why? 5 points we have discussed. All 5 points is the answer of this question. Now, see the position of India in world. Whatever we have discussed verbally, like the central location, so it is seems in center between East and West Asia, the continent Asia. If we see the India occupies in a center, then the Trans-Indian Ocean route which connect countries of Europe in the west, we are talking about left side, and the countries of east, right side, provide a strategic central location to our country. Note that the Deccan Peninsula, we are talking about peninsula means the taper area, uh, uh, including the states of Maharashtra and Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, or Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The Deccan Peninsula protrudes into Indian Ocean, thus helping India establish close contact with West Asia, Africa and Europe. Through the uh, ocean route, India connect with the right hand side east countries and west side means that is the left hand side west countries. So this is the India's strategic position in the world. Connect it with the other part of the world through the routes as well as the oceanic routes also. So that is why it is seems like a subcontinent, because on top north we are bounded by lofty Himalaya, that lofty Himalaya and Indian Ocean and one Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, that make India a separate small continent. That is why it seems a subcontinent. No other country has a long coastline. It is the Indian long coastline on Indian Ocean as India has indeed. It is India's eminent position on Indian Ocean. Like in the south, we have Indian Ocean, which justify the naming of an ocean after it. because it is lies in south. India's contact with the outside world in ancient and medieval time. In this topic, we are going to discuss how we connect to the world and what sort of communities and our culture we spread through which way. We are going to discuss with the help of example. India's contact with the world have con- um, continued through ages, but her relations through the land route much older than her maritime contacts. Earlier, we carried out our mm, trade through the routes, means where the people carried out their commodities on camels' back, or they carry things by their own, and they make ways through the mountain area. Some of the names still you listen on the channel India closed Nathula Pass or Jojila Pass. These passes means route in between of mountain. So India carried out all these three commodity export to the other nation through these passes, because we do not have developed system through ocean. The various passes across the mountains in the north have provided passes to the ancient travelers, while the ocean restricted such interaction for a long time. These routes have contributed in the exchange of ideas and commodities since ancient times. So, what ideas and commodities we share with other? The ideas of Upanishads and the Ramayana, the story of Panchatantra, the Indian numerals, and the decimal system thus could reach many parts of the world. These all example that is spread from India through the passes to other part of the world. The spices, muslin, and other merchandise were taken from India in different countries. On the other hand, the influences of sculpture, Greek sculpture and the architectural style of dome and minarets from West Asia can be seen in different part of our country. So what we have given, that is spices, muslin, other merchandise, ideas of Upanishad, Ramayana and Panchatantra, Indian numerals and decimal system. These we have given and shared to the others. From others, what we have taken? The Greek sculpture and the architectural style of dome and minarets from West Asia, like the Gol Gumbad and these kind of the architectural site is prepared and we have borrowed from other part of the world. Question related to this topic: give a brief account of India's contact with the outside world in ancient and medieval time. 5 mark question, and all points I have already discussed. India's neighbors, we can go through with the reading and then we can see in map of India which is given in book. India occupies an important strategic position in South Asia. Now, recently, the last amendment took place in 26 January, that we have 28 states and 8 union territory. I will provide the list of all states and union territory recently which is prepared. India shares its land boundaries with, now we are going to cram these sort of things because it is good for GK point of view also, or those who are preparing NTSC, with whom India share which part of boundary. This is I have given in separate manner. Pakistan and Afghanistan in the northwest, China, Tibet, Nepal and Bhutan in the north, Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east, then Sri Lanka and Maldives, two island countries in the south. So this list you cram for 1 mark point of view. Sri Lanka is separated from India by a narrow channel of sea formed by Palk Strait and Gulf of Mannar, while Maldives Islands are situated to the south of Lakshadweep Island. India has had a strong geographical and historical links with her neighbors. So, look at the physical map of Asia in your atlas and note how India stands apart from the rest of Asia. Now, through this map, we can discuss, find out number of union territories along western. So, first we see left hand side. Now, recent changes made by the government, that the Andaman Nicobar and this Daman Div and Dadra Nagar Haveli. This is now one union territory. All right. Then Pondicherry and this is the another thing. So now we start from the north. First is Ladakh, then Jammu Kashmir, Chandigarh, Delhi, Dadra Nagar Haveli, Daman Deep. This is total one, and then Pondicherry, Andaman Nicobar, and Lakshadweep. These all are union territory. Please count, it is 8. Otherwise, I will provide you the list of union territory and states. Okay. So, do you know fact? Before 1947, there were two types of states in India, the provinces and the princely states. Provinces were ruled directly by British officials who were appointed by the viceroy. Princely states were ruled by local hereditary rulers who acknowledged sovereignty in return for local autonomy. So, province ruled by British official and viceroy carried out things, whereas princely ruled by the Indian rulers. These two uh, groups ruled the country before 1947. All do you know fact is important for 1 mark point of view. So that's all for the whole chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day.